Hello and welcome. Charlene Smart with Healing Light Wellness here, and I'd like to thank you so much for joining me on this episode. During this episode, we're going to talk about living free from the shadows of our past. And although that may sound far-fetched or not possible, I'm here to tell you it absolutely is. We have been sold this thought that whatever happened to us in the past, even though we're still dealing with it, that's just the way it's going to be. And I used to believe that. I used to believe wholeheartedly that the hurt and the trauma in my past was going to haunt me for the rest of my life. It was going to cause me to feel horrible for the rest of my life. But what the truth is that we don't have to live this way. We don't have to just survive it. We truly can begin to move past it and step out from its shadow and into the sun of the present. So let's start talking about these shadows. From the ages of 0 to 7, that is when our core beliefs are formed. That is when we decide what the world around us is and what our place in it is. So, if my opinion of myself and the world around me was formed when I was 5, does that mean that I look out through my eyes in the present as a 5-year-old? And the answer is sort of yes, we do. We are making decisions every day because of the way we feel about ourselves, because of those core beliefs that were in place back when we were just kids, sometimes even before we could walk and talk. But does that mean there's nothing we can do? Well, right there, that is the lie. That is the lie that we tell ourselves, that this is just the way it has to be. It happened, it's in the past, and I just have to deal with it in the future. But here's the truth, you guys. You don't. We don't just have to survive the past. We don't have to remain stationary where we're at because at 5 years old, we didn't think we were good enough. We have the ability to change those beliefs. We have the ability to release those old thoughts, those old experiences that we have, those experiences we've been carrying around and allowing to stop us from living outside of the shadows. So how do we do that? Well, just like any other healer, I too had a hard childhood, and I too have spent lots of time trying to heal. And I found emotional freedom technique, or EFT. Now, if you are not familiar with that technique, there is a link in the episode notes if you would like to watch and learn and even experience it for yourself. But through EFT, I was able to go back and literally change how I thought about myself. So here comes time for some truth, okay? So I did not used to think I was good enough. I wasn't good enough for anything. The words POS used to come to mind. Now, years later, I know and I believe that that is not true, that was instilled in me from a very, very young age. And that had to do with the older people around me who truly had their own problems, right? It didn't really have anything to do with me. So let me give you an example. Several years ago, I was working for this great boss, and he was really easygoing, and we got along really well. And I am a perfectionist at heart. That's me. These videos are very hard to make, but I am a perfectionist, and he asked me to do something. And it did not come out the way he anticipated, nor the way I anticipated. His thought was, okay, we'll just start over and do it again. But it brought me to my knees. That mistake that I made, which truly, if you were thinking about it, only delayed the project a day, it completely crushed me. I just felt worthless and felt like there's no way I could do this. The words, "I guess it's time to fire me," came out of my mouth. Who says that? Now, my boss was great and he joked it off. Ha ha ha, isn't that funny, Shar? But in Shar's mind, I truly believed the only thing he could do was fire me. I wasn't good enough because I made a mistake. A mistake. Well, through the use of EFT, emotional freedom technique, I decided maybe I could let that feeling go. So I went back and I allowed myself to be taken back to when that thought that I was worthless came in to play. When what memory is it that makes me feel this way now 45 years later? And I went back to about the age of 5. There were some things prior to 5, but 5 is the one that really connected to this mistake I made. And it was simply a memory of a mistake I had made. It spilled a bowl of soup. And the comment was, "What is wrong with you? Can you not just sit there without making a mess?" Right? I mean, that's not even the same thing as the mistake I made. So, and that didn't seem like a big thing. As an adult, I was looking back going, what's the problem? I don't understand why this is connecting to me. But it didn't matter. My mind had solidified that mistake I had made me worthless. So I chose to go ahead and begin the EFT process and started tapping through the memory and the emotions behind it. And what I found as I fast forwarded is there were times in my life that connected to that moment, like times ahead. When you fast forwarded, I have this moment of telling my science teacher that, hey, I want to be a baby doctor, right? And the teacher saying, "You think you're smart enough for that?" Psh, right? Again, it is not the same exact thing, yet those were connected. That was one more time that solidified the fact that I was not good enough, that I was worthless. Then you fast forward that even more, and I kept running into these memories where the world around me was telling me that belief that you are not good enough is absolutely true. So I help process those emotions. I help process those feelings with EFT. And what I found is that feeling of worthless, it's not there anymore. That feeling of making a mistake, yeah, okay, I might feel dumb, but making a mistake no longer draws me to my knees, no longer puts me in a puddle on the floor, no longer makes me think that I should be fired because of this mistake. And if that has that much impact, the small moment of spilling your soup on the floor has an impact 40 years later, imagine every moment in our life and how it affects the present. It's huge. It's huge. And we don't have to live this way. We can take our control back, right? We have the power to change our lives. We just have to take that step. So the shadows of our past, it's all of those moments, those beliefs, those events that tell us who we are, our place in the world, and that hold us right here in this moment. If you're watching this, there's something beyond. There's something that you want to maybe change, something that maybe you're ready to let go of. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here with me. And I'm so glad you are. So I'm here to tell you that there is a way. Through EFT, you can begin to let go of the past. Now, it doesn't always feel great, right? Not knowing how to feel when I make a mistake, the mind says, wait, we're supposed to feel horrible, and we don't. And sometimes it takes a moment just to tell our brain, hey, we're okay. It's all right that we don't understand this feeling. But I'll tell you what, you can live the life you want. Is it a perfect life? Probably not. No, nobody's life is perfect, right? There's nobody who sells perfection. But what if you could have more happiness, more joy, more calm, peace, love? What if you could change a few things and it has such a huge, wide impact on where you are and where you're going? In that moment, that is living free of the shadows of our past. That is you stepping out into the sun of the present, not being held back, not feeling worthless, not feeling however it is you woke up and are feeling today. So, EFT is how I found that worked for me. That I found that I could let go of the past. I could change those feelings. I shifted so much that I realized that it wasn't me that was dumb and stupid, worthless. It was the people around me, and they were going through hard things themselves, and they didn't know how to deal with their life because they were still living under the shadows of their past. So, I would like to offer you a free ebook called Living Free from the Shadows of Our Past. And this ebook is just going to start down the path of explaining why we have these shadows, how we can get out of them. And it will begin the journey to take you down this path of healing. Now, the exercises that are in this book, they are not meant to cause or make trauma bigger. So we're not even going to start with that. We're just going to start on the very top, okay? If you are ready for a deeper healing, if you are ready to go further into the past, I'm going to encourage you to reach out to somebody. Reach out to me. You can schedule an appointment with me. Reach out to another practitioner, a therapist, a friend. When we go and work with trauma and hardships through our life, sometimes it's very helpful to have a guide. Okay. Our brain does not want us to recall things. And so it tends to skirt around them. And with a guide, they can help you and guide you through that journey. As our episode comes to a close, I would like to thank you for spending the time with me, for talking about the shadows of our past. And I know that's not always easy, but my hope is that you walk away with a sense that it might be possible to break free of these shadows. It may be possible to live free of them. If you are interested in downloading the free ebook, there is a link in the episode notes, along with different ways to contact me. At any time, if you have questions or comments that you would like to share, feel free to email me at charlene@healinglightwellness.com. I am also on Facebook and Instagram. Those links will also be in the episode notes. If you've enjoyed this episode or previous episodes, feel free to subscribe. I'd love to see you next time. And until we meet again, may your day be filled with love and light.